This week, I want to introduce you to an exercise that I absolutely love. This exercise helped me more than anything, and it's what enabled me to turn my paintings from boring and flat into something more interesting and exciting. So it works by stripping things back. When you limit your palette, you start to see variety and value with new eyes in a way. It also frees you to stay intuitive because you're not stuck making lots of decisions about color or tools. And that in return helps you loosen up. So let me explain how this works. Start by picking a color that you love and some black and white. And keep everything else off the table so that you keep your decisions simple. And then I want you to pick two tools that you like. For example, a big brush and a piece of charcoal, or a palette knife and a sponge. You can choose whatever you want. And then I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes. Keep your hand moving and explore variety with those two tools. Make different shapes, some dark, some light. Make fast movements and slow movements, and notice how your marks shift as you change the pressure on your tools. And then I want you to stop when the timer ends. Step back and take a look at what you've done. I don't want you to fix anything. I just want you to notice and see if it makes you feel alive. And if it does, stop there. If not, you can choose two new tools, set your timer again for 2.5 minutes, and keep going. All right, I'll let you watch what I did, and I hope this inspires you to do the same. All right, so I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and when it rings, I stop, okay? So I want you to try to ignore the time thing. Just keep working, and it'll ring when it rings. All right, let's get started. So what I'm doing is just exploring what happens with the different tools, right? So now I'm kind of making a big circle and I am pressing hard down with my brush. So what happens if I add some black to that yellow and make a darker color? And now I'm just going to be really light on my brush just to see what happens when I make a lighter stroke. And I could actually make as many of these as I want. I could even continue with that one if that's what I felt like doing. So you have some time to think here. You don't have to rush. But if you feel like going fast, that's okay too. And I could put some white into that now, right? So now all of a sudden I have two colors. So that just taught me something. It taught me that when I add black to yellow, I get green. And that is important information. Now I made another big circle with this. I was pressing hard with that. So maybe I could lighten it even more. And maybe we could see what would happen if maybe we made some smaller circles. I want more white because these two colors are too close to each other. So I want that one on the top to be lighter. Yeah. And I could use the back of my brush now to just play with this and have fun, right? I can make lines with that. Or I could dip my brush into maybe just a pure yellow and make some lines. What would happen if I was to make scribbles? Right? I could even use gray if I wanted to. I can do whatever I want. I could use pure black. Now, I don't have any water here, but you could definitely use water if you wanted to. I just prefer not to use water. That's me. My preferences, right? Just looking to see what happens if I use my tools in different ways, right? If I lay it down on the side, what happens? What kind of marks can I get out of this? Oh, I like that green. That's a really yellowish green. See what we can do with that. Oh, that's almost the same. I thought it was more yellow. Let's put more yellow in it. Yeah, it's kind of messy. Maybe we should just bring this back in. Making more of those circles that I made in the beginning because I really liked them. Maybe I should. Make that one really large. Way larger than the others. And I'm pressing hard onto the paper now. And maybe I can make it wonky. See what it would look like if I don't make it totally round, like just make it a bit different. And then I could come back in with this, right? All right, so now I have to stop. So let's see what it looks like, guys. I'm going to take the tape off. So now that it's done, I just put some clips onto it to keep the paper straight. And, you know, if you like it, you could just keep it as is. But if you want to keep moving forward with it, you can do another layer. But this time you only get 2.5 minutes. Okay, so now I'm finished and everything's nice and dry. And I put some clips on just to keep the paper straight. And I've chosen 2 new tools. So I have this black Amsterdam acrylic marker and I have this squidgy tool. I don't know what to call it. And yeah, I'm just gonna make another layer. But the rule here is that now you only get 2.5 minutes. So you only get half the time that you did on the first round. Okay, so I'm gonna set my alarm for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, let's start. I'm trying still to do, use my tools in different ways. So I'm making, using the corner of the marker. I used the front of the marker and I made bold marks and I made some thin marks with it, right? So I'm just trying to see what I can do with this. What happens if I press really hard? What happens if I just keep it light, right? And I can do anything I want. I'm just editing those marks that I already have here because I want to, just to see what happens. And then I'm going to use my paint again. And I'm going to come in with some white, I think. I think that's what I want to do. And we're going to try and stay away from those black marks now, because if I put anything over them, I'm kind of going to smear things, right? I think that makes a pretty cool effect when you use that squidgy tool. I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, so I'm just going to call them squidgy tools. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I could put even more, maybe. And you see how that's kind of quieting down the layer under? I like that. So you see how much you can learn? Now you know that you can do that with this tool, right? I think it's so much fun. And if I wanted to, I could come back in and I could make that black stronger again. It's all paint, so it's up to you how much you want it to show, right? And I can use my finger. You're allowed to use your fingers. Yeah, and I can make fun marks like this and just enjoy myself. Okay, so now I have to stop. So that is this week's challenge to you guys. And I hope you run with it and have a lot of fun because it's going to teach you so much. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.